Okay, this will be short and sweet. I'm really excited about this program. This is Silver Paws, and they have therapy dogs, and they're amazing. And so I'm going to have Dr. Dawn Harris and Casey Buck come up here and talk about their organization.
All right, thanks for having us here. I'm here today in a different capacity rather than with the school. I'm here on another organization that I feel just as passionately about. I'm a board member and a dog handler for the Silver Paws Therapy Dog Association out of Longview. Casey's our director, so she'll do a large part of the program, and then I'll kind of talk to you about what we do with Gilmer ISD. And then the main attraction, one of our therapy dogs, is Zelda. I left my dog Henry at home because he's needy and he would want to get attention from everyone. But this is Zelda, and I'm going to turn it over to Casey Buck, who's our organization president or director.
Hi, thank you all for having us. Like she said, we're with Silver Paws, and we do therapy dogs. So we essentially have specially trained dogs that go around, and the way I usually describe it is they give love to others. So whether that is in a therapy setting, a hospital setting, in a school setting, or at nursing homes, we do all the above. So I usually like to start with a story. So if y'all would bear with me, I did bring my story on my phone of Zelda. They actually wrote this of her at Good Shepherd a while back from one of her visits. And I think it shows, is a good representation of our therapy program. And then I'll let Dawn explain our reading program here in a minute. So she called it Zelda's Day in Inpatient Rehab. Zelda arrived today with an extra energetic smile. It was almost as if she knew we were going to be taking pictures and doing special work. It's such a joy to round the corner from my weekly meeting to see Zelda hard at work bringing the best out of people. She holds her head up at an angle where those soft brown eyes just shine. This is her day, her moment. She spreads smiles and brings moments out of the hardest of hearts. Today, she has a prance in her step as she works with Sally. Sally has been in our inpatient rehab for several days and has a discharge date for tomorrow. She will be going home with assistance of her daughter. The last couple of days have been a real challenge for the therapist. Sally has not wanted to participate in her daily therapy. In fact, she told the therapist this morning when she was showering that she wasn't going to get back out of her bed again today. I had asked one of the PTs at our weekly meeting if she had a patient that would be walking in the hall this morning. The PT said, yes, but it's Sally, and I'm not sure I can get her out of bed. I'll go ask her. Minutes later, I look up, and coming down the hall in a wheelchair with the PT following with her walker is Sally. I almost didn't recognize her. This eager beaver waving her arms and saying, oh, you sweet thing, come to me. Look how beautiful you are, is Sally. She quickly says, okay, show me what I need to do. How does this work? I'm going to walk the dog. The PT looks at me with a whimsical expression and shrugs her shoulders. All I said was, would you like to get out of bed and walk the therapy dog? She nearly knocked me down getting in the wheelchair. Casey, the handler, waited patiently as the PT explained to Sally how she will stand up and have the gait belt up for safety, keep the walker at a distance from her body, use the correct body stance, and look forward. Now it's Zelda's time. Zelda takes her place beside her new best friend. Wagging her tail and smiling, Casey explains to Sally how she will hold one leash and Zelda gets the other. Sally begins her walk. Within moments, Sally and Zelda are in sync. Sally begins to tell Casey about her two chihuahuas that are waiting for her at home. Eventually, she admits they are her more like her children. Casey reassures her that it's okay to have fur babies. Sally inquires about how Zelda became a therapy dog. Casey tells the story of Zelda's rescue for the 100th time, like it was the first time she has ever told Zelda's story, and ends the story by revealing that Zelda is her fur baby. It all started with a rescue dog that found her forever mom, a mom that would spend hours and hours taking obedience classes and spurring her dream of spreading smiles and happiness to those who are having a moment where they need a relief. a relief possibly from a setback they hadn't planned, an illness, or maybe just a stressful day. You see, Zelda isn't always a therapist for the patient. Our associates need and count on her pretty brown eyes and sweet smile to bring out the softness in our hearts and put a smile on our face. Zelda isn't just Casey's girl. She is everybody in inpatient rehab's girl. We count on her every Wednesday to come and let us put our hands all over her beautiful brown hair that smells so good. We look into those brown eyes as she looks up at our face and we say, "How's my girl?" So to me, it was actually written by the lady in inpatient rehab. And to me, it describes what we do very well. So we started with the 5 dogs in this picture. Actually, the one on top is Lily. She started it all, in my opinion. She was my little baby, my little college dog who, long story short, she had more love in her than I ever thought was possible. And I came back to Longview and said I wanted to do this. And Zelda was kind of like they tried to describe in the story. She didn't like anybody when we started. Actually, being in this room was not her thing. She stayed to the side. But I took her to class with Lily, who loved everyone. So they came out of their shell. And then Bubba and Carol on the other side, the 2 Aussies. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're good. The 2 Aussies. And then Samson actually passed a while back, but he's the Doberman in the picture. So the 5 of us said, okay, there's no one else doing this in our area, let's do it. So we joined a group together and we called ourselves Silver Paws. And so our goal is to provide exceptional animal-assisted activity and therapy programs to the local community, but in connection with the local organizations, schools, hospital, and assisted living homes. So we want to connect with somebody to partner with their programs that are already there. So we don't just make up our own programs. So these are some of our dogs, because I like showcasing them all. So Henry is actually in the middle there, in case y'all haven't met him, so that's Dawn's little one. We have Buddy on the far left, Sam is the next one, and then Lily on the far side. And actually I think most of those are in schools actually doing either reading, or the one on the far left is actually just we call it a feel-good day over at Spring Hill with Buddy. I think there's one. Yep. So these are some more of our teams. So the top left is actually where we started. So that's in Winsboro with some of our first guys. We have Gabe in the middle with Zoe up top. Down low we have Bart. And I don't know if you can see her, but there is Lily on the far left. We have 3 Lilies. So. And then Angus in the middle and Stella's on the far left on the bottom, actually doing therapy in the hospital. And then, like I said, we started with 5. We have grown actually to 21, so I haven't looked at the last 3 on here yet. Yeah. So this is, so there are 18 on the picture that'll show up here in just a second, but there are 21. We added 3 this last Saturday. So we've grown a lot in the last little bit. Lily was the first one in November of 2018. And now we're to the 21 as of, I guess it was actually 3 Saturdays ago. And they're all out making visits somewhere. Some are in Gilmer, some are in Longview. We've got Hallsville, we're doing Spring Hill, and then Winsboro as well. So this is actually inpatient rehab where Zelda did her walking. So we have Zelda on the left and then Bo's on the right. In inpatient rehab, everything is associated with what the therapist is doing. So it is in connection with a physical therapist, occupational, or a speech therapist. And they kind of pick what the goal is, and then we bring the dog in to support that goal. So they're wanting to walk around the hall that day. We provide an extra tool for motivation, and then just encouragement. Because if the dog can do it, 9 times out of 10 it's like, no, I can do it too. I tell everybody all the time, I want to be more like Zelda. She walks up and she doesn't care for that day. How do I get to be like that? And it transfers into just what we're doing even in the patient's rooms. Then we have Read to Me. I'm going to let Dawn tell about the program we have here in Gilmer that's doing the reading.
Read to Me was something that we started last spring as an incentive with our elementary students. Reading sometimes is not a fun task for them, so we gave them an incentive Henry is my dog on the left, and he makes regular visits to the elementary school, visiting with kids who have emotional needs, who need a support dog, as an incentive if they do right. But we wanted to increase reading, so we put it out there and we said, if you read 18 hours during the summer and log your time, you get to read with the Silver Paws dog. And we thought, okay, we can do this. We're thinking maybe 10 kids will do it. We had 54 kids who met that goal. So we spent 3 solid days at the elementary where the kid would get to come in with their book, and we sat down with them, and the dog is trained to sit with the child, and the child reads to the dog. The dog is non-judgmental. If they mispronounce a word, Henry says nothing. They show the dog pictures, but it's really increased the confidence of our kids in reading. Parents were invited to come join us, and they said they never saw their kid more interested in reading with knowing they just had a chance to read with the dog. So that's the Read to Me program. We were the first school who started it. Thanks to Mr. Albritton and the board's support, they allowed me to leave maybe for a couple hours and take Henry and go do this. Since we started, Spring Hill wants to be like us. Spring Hill does the Read to Me. Longview ISD, Pine Tree ISD, New Diana is wanting on board. That's about it. So, but we're going to, and I told Casey this, I said, Harmony's here, they're going to want to be a part. But it's truly amazing what Henry does. I have lost all my identity with the kids at the elementary because I'm just Henry's mom. I walk into a classroom to watch teaching and they look down. If I don't have Henry, I'm nothing. But Henry is truly, besides teaching and being in education, this has changed my life for the better. I do hospice, I go to the memory care unit, the focus care, but it's just truly amazing what we can do with the Read to Me.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites to do all the time. So the next one we have is Silver Paws in schools. So we go in as a motivational day. So some of the schools are like, okay, the kids are just not feeling it. They're kind of to the point, they're just like, no. So we can bring the dogs in, they get to have a feel-good day, they get to kind of relax for a little bit, the dogs can come in, just essentially give a motivational boost. And actually we do this mostly in the Longview ISD schools and kind of just come in, let them walk a little bit, the dogs get to be pet. Actually, some of the life skills have even started making cookies for the dogs. So like the kids wouldn't even get up before. Now they're getting up and they're making cookies and they're engaging with life. They've made cards and everything. So it gives them a purpose again and something to do. We have de-stress with Silver Paws. We are actually in the Gregg County Courthouse, thanks to one of our handlers, Miss Judge Becky Simpson. So the ones on the far left actually went on the most recent adoption day. And so they got to celebrate with the kids that they'd actually been seeing in the system throughout. So we come on, it's mostly on Thursdays, actually up at the courthouse, when they're doing their court days. So we stay in the hall working with Bunker and CASA kids. And as the kids are getting prepared and prepped, we actually come in and provide relief for them. So there's tons of caseworkers and judges and the lawyers are there. And it just gives them a moment to say, oh my gosh, there's a dog here, I can calm back down. And they've actually seen a reduction in their stress levels in the courtroom, and they're able to place them where they need to and help them out. We also do assisted living and hospice. So this one, we just go in and essentially, a lot of the people that we go and see, they don't get to see a lot of people. They don't get to see a lot of kids, interaction, and just different things. And then a lot of them had dogs at some point, and now they don't. So we get to go into just the isolated areas and let them see a happy face. And kind of like Dawn said, on a lot of places, I don't even exist anymore. They're there to see Zelda or Lily, and whenever we walk in, instantly they're like, oh my gosh, it's my friend, it's my little fuzz kid. So we let them hop up on the bed at times, and they actually get to love on them and have a moment with them. So what we provide for our teams, actually internally, is we do the education for the therapy animal teams. We don't do the actual training of the dog, we do that final piece for the handlers. So how to get in the plays, what are we looking for, a lot of the sanitizing and things like that. We also do the connection between the team and the facility. So if someone's like, I really want to go XYZ, we help them figure out a way to get there to where they can provide the service. And then we do advocacy, so we do a lot of presentations like this for them. And only because I get asked this all the time. So if anyone's interested in becoming a team or knows somebody that does, this is actually the process our teams go through. So you have to do the obedience training, which can take anywhere from 6 months to a year, just depending on the dog. Zelda actually took 2 years because she was a little more on the antisocial side. Then we have that Canine Good Citizen. All of our dogs have the AKC Canine Good Citizen. You do volunteer orientation. You do a course. It's actually a 4-hour course that goes through everything. Then they complete a hands-on practicum. Then they're evaluated to make sure everything is still good. Do they enjoy it? Because we want the dogs to be happy too. If the dog isn't happy, the program doesn't work. So we do that, and then they have 3 rookie visits to where they go with one of us so they can ask all their questions. Because we don't want to send them out there into the world, okay, you're certified, go forth. We stay with you through the process. And then they're a team ready to go. So if anyone is going, I want to be involved, I really do. These are all the different ways that you can volunteer. We always need volunteers and different people with and without a dog. If you don't have a dog, that's fine. If you have one, bring it on. We have all these different things. We do fundraising. I don't know if y'all have heard about our bingo. Quick little plug for it. So it's Saturday. We have 3 more tickets. Actually, wait, we have 2 at a table. I heard someone has. And then 3 tickets, just individuals, left for our bingo Saturday. So if you would like to come play bingo, support Silver Paws, and meet some of the other teams, we will be there in Longview. I'm trying to remember where it is. East Texas Old Women's Association in Longview, and it will be a great night. So if y'all would like to hit us up afterwards, we'll get you those tickets. But you can volunteer in other ways too, just at our facility at times, helping out with whatever is needed. But yeah. Thank y'all again for letting us come and present. If y'all have any questions?
Are some dog breeds more suited to this than others?
I haven't seen it be related to dog breed, but it can be some dogs are more suited than others just in the fact that they like people more. Some dogs instantly want to, because they have to meet probably 100 people a day sometimes, so they have to want to do that. So it's not mostly the breed, it's more their personality.
Y'all do your own training, and I ask that because I'm right in the middle of the Canine Good Citizens training.
So we don't do the training of the dog piece, but we do the final therapy piece of kind of giving that education piece there. So you would have to have that Canine Good Citizen before coming to us.
Who does the obedience? Where do y'all have a specific place that you send, or just?
So we have lots of places we can recommend. There are several people in the area that do it, and then they'll send you back to us for that final. Any other questions before I turn it back over? Thank y'all so much for having us.
She did so good there. I was watching her. Just once or twice she stood up. It's like, is somebody eating back there? So she did really good. So, are there any other announcements? Nobody? If not,
I have 2 tickets to sell.
oh, Karen has tickets. So we'll stop by. Sounds good. I like to play bingo. So, and I do. Guests, we're proud you're here today. You're welcome to come back at any time. So if you'll stand, we'll close with